Welcome back to Newsday. Thank you for staying with us. A group known as the All Progressives Congress Northern Christian Leaders had recently declared their intention to adopt a presidential candidate in a bid to defeat the ruling party's Muslim ticket. The group, led by Yakubu Dogara, a former Speaker of the House of Representatives, and Babachir Lawal, a former Secretary to the government of the Federation, appeared to have finally shown their preference by openly endorsing the candidacy of the Labour Party's presidential standard-bearer, Peter Obi, and his running mate, Yusuf Datti Baba Ahmed. In a statement last night, the group stated in part, and I quote, "The APC same-faith ticket is a deliberate, well-calculated plan to sow the seeds of religious and social discord amongst Nigerians." The former secretary to the government of the Federation, David Babachir Lawal, joins us now. Thank you so much for joining us on the program Newsday this afternoon. Glad to have you.
Good afternoon, Tommy Tope. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, it's how I hear as well. You have been vocal in your not backing your fellow APC presidential candidates, Bola Tinubu. A few months back, we know that you came out to support Atiku. And from the very well-worded letter from last night, we see that you are now throwing your entire weight behind the Labour Party's candidates of Peter Obi and Datti Baba Ahmed. Can you go ahead and explain to us, just like you did in the letter, for those who might not have been able to read it, exactly your reasons why you think that he would be best, the pair of them would be the best to run the country come February 2023?
Well, for starters, I never did say I was backing Abubakar Atiku or PDP. I never did say that. I don't know where the news came from, but it was fake news. Anytime I was ever asked the question as to where we intended to go, my answer would be, we are studying the issues, we are conversing, we are, consulting. Now, it took quite a long time before we arrived at yesterday's statement. We had spoken with most of the key political parties, the ones that appear more prominent, starting with, we've spoken with the NMPP, we had spoken with leadership of Labour Party, we had spoken with the leadership of the PDP. The only people that didn't want to talk to us were the people in the APC. They never even bothered whether we existed or not, which was in line with their character. They don't need Christians, so we didn't talk to them. Now, what were the criteria we were looking for? First of all, based on our belief that the Muslim ticket was an evil designed to sow the seeds of discord in the country, we decided that we're not going to have anything to do with that ticket. Notwithstanding some of the other political parties, there are, I think, 17 that are fielding presidential candidates in addition to APC. We felt that we should look at the potential for an all-inclusiveness of the citizens of this country, a tendency that can give us justice, a tendency that can create a level playing field for every citizen of Nigeria, irrespective of tribe, irrespective of religion, irrespective of culture. So with this in mind, we started evaluating the various candidates, spoke to our people and the tendencies within the Northern Christian community and indeed other non-Christian communities. After all said and done, majority of us, I must say is majority of us felt that the best platform that presents all the things we desire in the country, that Nigeria, is the one platform being provided by Peter Obi and Datti. One, first of all, there is this tendency that for equity's sake, the presidency should move to the south. And if in the south, an extension of the equity requirement mandates that it should go to the southeast, which since the new democracy came on board, they've never had the chance to produce a presidential candidate. And this is only fair, this is only just. The north has had its share, the southwest had had its share, and so we felt that the southeast should now produce the next presidential candidate. And of course, their ticket is quite balanced in the sense that for those who think that the northwest has a very large majority of bloc voters, it's only fair that they produce the vice president in this dispensation. So all said and done, we looked at a system that can bring harmony in our country, peaceful coexistence, security, and peace. Again, we looked at the tendency of the ruling party and, of course, the PDP also. It appears that the same oligarchs have been running the country since independence. In my write-up, I did say that if you look at the APC, it looks like the children and grandchildren of those who used to run UPN and are the ones running APC. The same thing with the PDP. You find out that the House of Fulanis, who were the owners of the MPN and NPC, are the ones predominantly in PDP. So we looked at a scenario where it's good to diversify. It's good to allow every part of the country to feel a sense of belonging in the leadership structure of the country. So those, among others, was why we felt that the Peter Obi ticket gives us a breath of fresh air in the country, because they don't come with an excess baggage of former this, former that, and they have the potential to provide the level playing field for all Nigerians to participate in an equal and equitable manner.
Well, thank you so much for giving us that detailed explanation. We really appreciate that. Now, last week, Bola Ahmed Tinubu attempted, to defend the same faith ticket. He says he's not running based on religion, and he denied reports that he's planning to Islamize the nation, saying he has not even Islamized his family. Also, he said that those criticizing his choice of running mate are angry because they had shown interest in becoming his running mate, which he politely declined. So this begs the question of, is your decision to endorse Obi-Datti against your own party's presidential candidate, is it based on national interest or is it personal?
If you know Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu very well, you find out that he has the tendency to stretch truth sometimes. And I can assure you that if he's referring to somebody like me, Bola Tinubu knows that I have never aspired to be his running mate. I have never. For one, I don't think he has the capacity for me to be his vice presidential candidate. He doesn't have the capacity the way I know him to be. Second, I don't see why I should aspire to be a vice presidential candidate to Bola Tinubu while I myself have the qualifications to be president. So if he's referring to me, he's telling a lie. And so many people can testify to the fact that anybody that has ever asked me, why don't I want to be the vice president, I will not even talk to them a second time. I will not give them a second time. I know myself, I know my capabilities. I am not cut out for government work. So I don't know who else is talking about that have been lobbying him for vice presidents. I don't know. Maybe there are people that had lobbied on my behalf, but anytime they do approach me, I take them off. I never want to be somebody's running mate. I never want to be. I can be the president if I want to. I feel I have the qualification to be one. I have the experience. I was secretary to the government. I have the qualification. I'm an engineer. I have so many qualifications if it's about paper qualifications, verifiable from known schools, with the classmates all over the place that can testify to my ability to be a good vice president. So Bola, I don't know why he got this. Maybe his usual imagination is guiding him.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, fair enough.
But the truth of the matter is that if he says he has no plan to Islamize Nigeria, and he uses his wife and his children being Christian as an excuse, I want to say that is balderdash. Because if his family cannot stop him from being a Muslim ticket, I don't know what influence they can come to bear on him when he becomes a president and he decides to do the Muslim ticket. I would have thought that his wife, being a pastor, if she had any influence on him at all, would discourage him ab initio. But since she cannot do it, maybe she too, maybe they want to denigrate their own religion the way he has done it. Maybe. So I doubt if they are good Christians, if there are one. Well, if they can't stop, the wife can't stop her husband from sidelining her religion, I don't know what influence she can have on him when he becomes president. So Bola Tinubu is talking balderdash.
Well, fair enough then. Let's move on to something that you had said earlier on in the program and also addressed within this letter that was released last night, that the APC and the PDP are different sides of the same coin. What do you have to say about some critics who see you campaigning for another party quite vocally and distancing yourself from your own party's presidential candidate? They might describe it as anti-party activities. What do you have to say to them? And also, do you have any thoughts of completely just leaving the APC altogether?
Look, I don't have plans to leave the APC. I've kept on saying that the reason why I joined party politics to start with was because I wanted to be one of those contributing to emergence of Buhari as the president of the country. Because my own assessment of his person was that if he were to be president, which he has been, my life in the country would be better, things will improve, and I'll live a life that is very comfortable in a secure manner. That's why I decided to join Buhari, and I think that as the things go on, I don't see any reason why I should remain in politics if my ambition having been achieved, Buhari having been president for 2 tenures, what else am I going to stay there to do? But then about whether or not I'm doing anti-party, it's up for the party to decide. Politics is not religion. Politics is not dictatorship. Politics is politics. You have your views. Within the political parties, nobody will ever tell you we must have the same views at all. Nobody can dictate to me because we're in APC what my view should be. If APC of its own volition decides to produce a bad candidate, a bad combination, if APC as a political party decides to discriminate against my person and my religion, I have no business saying that I cannot criticize. It's my duty to criticize within the party. So it's my duty within, as an APC member, to see that APC does the right thing. And if APC decides not to do the right thing, it's my duty to continue to tell them that they are doing the wrong thing and they should mend their ways. But APC, it appears, is capable of mending its anti-Christian stance. That's it. It has been a story since the formation of APC. This argument has been going on. We Christians have been crying that they are not including us in the party structure. Because of it, we have been unable to convince our followers to be diehard members of APC. Anywhere we go, they cry. APC is excluding Christians. APC is excluding Christians. When we tell them, they don't hear. So what apology do I have to remain and continue to justify evil?
Now, people
who just sideline me.
Mr. Lawal, you've endorsed Obi-Datti, but one person that seemed unimpressed with the Labour Party candidate is Governor Charles Soludo of Anambra State. So I'd like you to react to the rather public exchange between the two gentlemen. Governor Soludo, you'll recall, described the present value of investment made by Peter Obi while he was governor as worthless. And he followed up with a very long statement attacking Peter Obi before concluding that he can never win the 2023 election. What's your take on that?
My sister, I don't know who Charles Soludo is. He's not my governor. I've never met him. Even on the streets, I don't know who Charles Soludo is. I don't know what his grouse is with Peter Obi, but you know, there's a saying in the Bible that a prophet has no honor among his own people. So it could be that he knows more about Peter Obi than I do. It could be maybe when they were young, they competed over girlfriends, for example, and Peter Obi got the upper hand. It could be anything. It could be maybe they were in the same school and Peter Obi was beating him. There are so many things you get to know with somebody that you grow up together with or that you live together. I'm far away, Adamawa. I don't know why Soludo should be so bitter that he will crave the failure of his own brother in politics. That is up to him. That's up to the people of Anambra, up to the people of the Southeast to reconcile them if it is possible. But I don't care what Soludo says. I'm from Adamawa State. I make my own judgment about the Peter Obi-Datti, not based on what somebody from his state says. I don't know Charles Soludo. And whatever he says is his own opinion too. It's up to Peter Obi to know what to do. I don't care what Soludo says. I like the Peter Obi-Datti ticket. They present fresh air to me. They present me with hope of a Nigeria that I intend my children to inherit, where I intend to live. The Peter Obi-Datti gives me the ticket. What Charles Soludo believes is his own problem. When he leaves office, he will reap the benefits of his own criticisms. No position remains forever.
All right, well, fair enough. Yeah. I want to move the discussion just slightly to issues that have come up in the news recently. With the recent discovery of oil in the north, particularly Bauchi and Gombe states, the Kolmani area with 1 million barrels worth of oil reserves, also 500 billion cubic feet of gas, with also $3 million worth of investment, dollars worth of investments. In your opinion, what the implications of this could be at this time for the nation when we know that oil theft is at an all-time high and discussions about the distribution of the nation's resources and wealth are also taking center stage. What are your comments on that?
Well, I don't. One thing I like about it is that it provides job opportunities for people, for Nigerians. It's a potential for additional source of additional wealth for the country, and so some economic benefits to citizens of the area, the Northeast, where I come from. But one thing I also do take note of is that fossil fuel is on its way out, and it is not as if we have exhausted what we have already. It's just important that the more we have, we should be able to judiciously exploit it and reap the benefits. It's not enough to just say every backyard has oil if we cannot deploy the benefits of the resources to the development and to the benefit of our community. So I don't know. As it is, Nigerians are not meeting their own quota at the international market. We've not been able to produce and sell our own quota because, as I understand, oil theft and all manner of technical issues. So, yes, the more oil reserve we detect, the better. But the important thing is, can we deploy it, the resources to the benefit of our people? That's the important thing to me. It's not whether I have oil in my backyard or you have your own or everywhere. That's my own position.
Well, before we let you go, we'd like to know your thoughts on the CBN's naira redesign and the timeline given before the old notes will no longer be accepted as legal tenders.
Well, I don't know. As we speak, I have only 1,000 naira cash in my purse. So I don't keep cash. I don't have that much money to keep cash. But I think it's a good thing to mop up the excess naira in the market, and for me, it is particularly gratifying because I think this will mitigate against the tendency of money in the coming election. So if the abundance of cash out there is mopped up by the CBN, it will make my vote count, to make it difficult for somebody to have sufficient funds to buy votes. Because I do suspect that quite a lot of these very, very unpopular candidates who are unlikely to win are only hoping that they can buy votes on that day. So what the CBN has done is, with the benefit of hindsight, I think they are doing good for Nigeria in terms of the electoral process. But then, again, we are still a cash economy, I'm a farmer, and people come to my farm to buy cows. They come with cash. They come and buy trailer load of cows, 40 million, 50 million naira. They come to my warehouse and carry 2 trailer loads of rice or maize in my farm. They pay cash because the people don't have such facilities. So the CBN should also be mindful of my mother, my grandmother, my nieces in the village who don't have access to banking services. They must also think about that. They must think about my grandmother who saves her own money under her pillow, under her mattress.
Oh, well said. For
for
this refreshingly candid conversation, we thank you so much, Mr. Babachir Lawal, former Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Thank you for coming on the show and for having this discussion with us.